So, Rodrigo is a Brazilian native. He's the member of the board of management of Bayer. You serve as the head of crop science division, correct? And you oversee Latin America and Africa on the board of Bayer, and you have 25 years of experience in crop science industry. So, welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. I really was amazed by the conversation that you had here with Anna and Aline. That's great. Really great. Great to be here.
Yeah, so I started by asking them a bit about their background. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to work in crop science and came to be such a senior executive board member of such a big, important company?
Yeah, I share some experiences like Aline had, right? I'm from the countryside of Brazil, in São Paulo, and my grandfather had a small farm, very small one, of citrus. And as a kid, I was working there. And then I decided and got a passion about agriculture that I carry until today. And it's very interesting because my brother is a dentist, my sister is a dentist, my wife is a dentist, my brother-in-law is a dentist, my sister-in-law is a dentist.
That's why your teeth are so nice.
Great.
I was noticing earlier, it's such nice teeth. Yeah.
It is really, the fight is to whom should I go, but I got a passion about agriculture, and I'm still passionate about it, and I loved what I just heard here on this conversation.
So you don't have Thanksgiving in Brazil in the same way as America, but that must be interesting conversations at the table, all talking about teeth and you talking about agriculture. So, anyway, so COP30 is here in your home country. What do you see about this COP as being significant in terms of agriculture and climate action? Yeah. What are you seeing in some of the conversations and the agenda this time?
And I wish everyone that is listening to us could have the opportunity to be here. If I wish someone that think about agriculture, if they have the opportunity to walk in the field with Aline or to be in a research station of Embrapa one day, that would be a difference in terms of the perception of agriculture can do for this planet. In the end of the day, as you heard from Anna, it's like agriculture is part of the solution. And nothing better than being in Belém, in the heart of the Amazon, right? To talk about agriculture being part of the solution. This is a country, Brazil, is a country that we have 66% of our territory with forests and permanent reserves. We use 9% of the territory for agriculture. In the last 20 years, with the support of Embrapa as an example, is a great contribution. The Brazilian farmers, they were able to increase the production that Aline was mentioning by 250%, increasing the area by 30% on the Cerrados region. That was a revolution that happened. And again, as you heard from Aline, we don't need any other additional land to produce more. It's in the land, higher yields and innovation. So yes, you can have, and it's great to be in a country that demonstrate can be an agriculture power and an environmental power. And these two things can coexist. And I think the agriculture is a great example of that. Agriculture can help not only feeding this planet, that is a very important element, but also to help mitigate the climate change. And that's why it's great to be here.
So we heard from the farmers just now. So you've mentioned that agriculture can be part of the solution, but how do farmers play a role in that? Can you talk a bit about farmers and how they can contribute?
And Aline was touching that one, and I'll talk a little bit more about that one. I think that for many, many years, farmers were recognized by how much they produce. And hopefully, this COP makes a big effort to not only recognize the farmers for how much they produce, but how they produced. What are the practices they use? So let me give you a very concrete example, because I think that I'm passionate about the fact that this COP is about actions, right? It's not about words anymore, it's about actions. We work here in Brazil for the last 4 years with Embrapa on this Pro Carbono project that we had 2,000 farmers, not 20, not 30, 2,000 farmers. We wanted to do it in a scale and very actionable. And during these 4 years, farmers were doing exactly what you heard from Aline, right? So crop rotation, no-till, change of fertilizers, cover crops, managing cover crops for the soil health. And with Embrapa support, we got 300,000 of soil samples. I want to repeat that one. 300,000 soil samples for the data, for the quality of the data and science behind that one. On that example, using regenerative practices, the farmers were able to produce 11% more in average, reducing the carbon footprint by 50% or up to 66%. And they were sequestering 2 tons of carbon per hectare. And that's an amazing example of what the farmers can do for mitigating the climate change. And this is a little bit what I hope that we can do more is recognize farmers financially by doing that. Not how much they're producing, but how they are producing as well.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We're sitting in this Casa Baia, this beautiful place. I thought maybe I could ask you, I asked Bill Anderson, the CEO, last week, a bit about the place. But why don't you tell me a bit about this venue that we're here in Belém, in this amazing place in the middle of the Amazon, this big city in the middle of the Amazon. But this building, specifically Casa Baia, maybe you could tell me a bit about how this came about, why we are in this space.
Well, you see, honestly, you see my smile because I'm Brazilian, right? So I have a bias on that one. It's amazing to do the COP here in Belém. You could do in São Paulo, you could do in Rio, but in Belém you see the reality of Brazil. You see the beauty of Brazil, but you see also the need for development. You see the poverty that you have in this region as well. And one of the things that I'm very proud of, I'm living here with a heart fulfilled because this Casa Baia, when the team decided to do this, was like, well, we're gonna have the COP, we're gonna be there. Instead of renting an office, let's do what they did here. Casa Baia, 250 kids here. They live here every day, and the investment that we did to renovate here, to be able to be safer, better for them to enjoy as we live here next week, it's amazing. So this is a legacy. I'm glad that, I don't know, after 5-10 years, if you come back to Belém, you're gonna see Casa Baia. The kids will be enjoying here every day, so it's amazing to see here.
Yeah, you can't see it online, but what it is it's an old mansion, beautiful old mansion with like really stunning design, floors, everything. And what happened is, I think Baia about last June, I guess, took over the building, totally renovated it. It was a community center.
Yes.
Already for children to come and study and for people in the community to come and do classes. Baia took it over. You've taken it for 1 whole year, I think, and
yes.
Fully renovating and using it for the space during COP. But when you leave it, you'll leave it back to the community, back to the children to come, and it's going to be a legacy of COP and of your company, which I think it's really charming. It's a wonderful little space.
Thank you very much for helping me describe this one. I was probably emotional here, and I was not able to describe it as good as you did. Thank you very much.
I'm an editor, so I just summarize. That's all I do. I take brilliant thoughts and I summarize. So other people's thoughts. Let's talk a bit about innovation. How do you think Baia can help with the innovation and the technology for farmers like Aline, for entities, government-backed entities like Embrapa? What is the role that you as Baia are playing when it comes to technological advancement in this area?
So we believe in science and technology, right? So we believe innovation is a core element to produce more and restore more at the same time. Again, helping the farmers to produce more in the same hectare they have, that is a key equation for us to feed and to mitigate climate change. So we are investing heavily on innovation and science and passionate about the work that we are doing, like the Pro Carbono that I mentioned here in Brazil, or if you go to Asia, I was recently in Asia, that we have the direct seed rice. Has a massive impact in terms of environmental impact, in terms of water and also emissions. You have we are working to launch the short stature corn that will really change the way that farmers are producing corn as well, and so many other innovations. Another great example that I was very excited during these days here in Belém is the agreement that was the 4X Belém, now signed by 20 countries until yesterday. I hope that more will sign, but it's how then can produce 4 times more of sustainable fuel. And we are working with some crops like camelina, cover grass, that is a new cover crop, canola, and even corn for ethanol in the second season here that can really help sustainable fuel for aviation and for other sectors as well. So a lot of innovation that is a core element of this transformation for the future, for sure.
So innovation tends to work best when you have cross disciplines and you have meeting of different ideas, and that sparks new ideas. What do you think what are the most important partnerships or collaborations that you see in order to meet some of the goals that people are talking about here at COP30?
That's a wonderful question, because this is probably, if you take me one key conclusion of being in COP or in different fronts, it's about that. There is no company or public sector or NGO can do an impact by itself. It's all about partnership and collaboration, right? It's how you have different companies sitting together with the public sector as well, different NGOs, and to make impact for large scale. That's the core element. So we have a lot of collaborations, we have a lot of partnerships, we have more than 100 partnerships in different countries. The examples that I gave here is a good example, but we have others, because again, every company by itself will not have the impact that we need for helping the farmers. We need to have those partnerships in place, and we want to expand that one. If you ask me, my hope that we have more partnerships and collaboration than we have. That's it.
Rodrigo, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for having us here in Casa Baia.
Thank you very much for having me.
And enjoy COP.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.